All right, so today I'm going to show you how I tune my system. There are a few things that you need to do before you actually start tuning. And the first thing is you need to set up your input gains. Um, my processor is a Helix processor, doesn't have input gains for digital inputs. So I'm using a digital input right now, and I can't show you that. But there's a nice video by Resonix. Just look on YouTube for Resonix input gain setup, and this gentleman, Nick, he's going to walk you through the process of setting up the input gains if you are not using digital input on a Helix processor. Okay, and the other thing that you need to do prior to this is to set up your output gains in your amplifier. There's 100,000 videos how to set up your output gains on your amplifier. Watch a few, and some are way off, some are really good. I mean, if you have an oscilloscope, you can use the oscilloscope to check for signal clipping, or you can use a multimeter and check for voltage. And there are some formulas, simple formulas that you can do to calculate the output voltage, and use a multimeter to get close, and that should do it. So once you have that set up, we can continue doing this. We're going to need pink noise. If you're using a Helix processor, you can get the pink noise right out of here. You know, when you open, before you connect, you click on that musical note icon, and you're going to click on this folder, real-time analyzer, and this is a pink noise. This is uncorrelated pink noise. I'm not showing the file extensions, but this one is an MP3. This is the MP3 file, and the other one is a WAV file. So pick the WAV if you can play it, otherwise use the MP3. That's what we're going to be using for the RTA. Of course, you're going to need a microphone. I am using an RTA microphone. I'm using a what is it called? It's a mini DSP UMIC 1. It's a USB microphone, and I don't need an audio interface card to hook it up to the computer. And you're also going to need a target curve. You need to go to DIYMA, the forum. Is do-it-yourself mobile audio. Just go to that website, look it up, search on Google, and it'll come up. And on there, you're going to search for Jazz's Tuning Companion, which is this one, Jazz's Tuning Companion. So open it. Now, my file, since this is a computer that I just reformatted, my file is all locked up, I think. The file is write protected, so depending on the operating system that you're using, you're gonna have to figure out how to unprotect it, so you can do some things. I mean, it'll still let you do some things, but there are other things that it won't let you do. For some reason, this is not opening. Let me close out of this. Let's try this again. Let's try this one. All right, so this file is all locked up, I think. No, it didn't give me any warning, so I think this one is fine. So getting your target curve is one of the things that you can do with spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is really good, and you should have it. You should learn how to use it. The target curve is this one, right? And it has several target curves, and it will also allow you to create your custom curves, but I am not going to go over that. I'm just gonna show you how to get the file so you can tune, as I am not an expert on this spreadsheet. So the curve that I like to tune to is white ledge, this white ledge. So let me see if I can show how it changes. So I'm showing the curve right there, and if I select white ledge, it should change to a different one. There it is. So it just changed. So this one is bassy, which I like, and it also has the tweeters that are a little bit tamed. I like it that way because if I run it flat, if the curve is flat, the tweeters are just way too bright and it's very annoying to listen to. So this sounds, in my opinion, this curve sounds really good. So in order to get this curve, so now that you have it selected, you have to go to, here it tells you export all, but we don't need this. We need the overall target, right? So we're going to be using REW today. So switch it to REW. And if you want me to show you how to use the Helix RTA built-in, I can show you that as well. But today we're going to use REW. And remember where you put in this target, or choose an output folder. You can choose a different output folder and then select export overall target, and bam, there it is. Save to okay, you have it. So now you have your overall target curve. So what you're gonna get is the yellow curve that goes all the way across the top. That's what you're getting, which is what we need. So now with this done, we can close it because we're not gonna need it anymore today. Don't save. I don't want to save. All right. Now we can connect to our processor. We connect. And what I'm going to do is, this is just for tuning. I'm going to use a previous configuration that I have, which is Focal, which are my speaker, WL, white ledge. Number 2 is my second attempt at tuning with this curve. And I like the second attempt very much, so that's what I'm gonna use. And I'm pulling an existing tune because there are other things that you need to do to set up your processor. Like for example, you need to do the where is this input output? You know, you need to map your input to your outputs. I am not going to cover this today. This is something that I could cover at another time, and is something that you're gonna need to do, right? Your input output. And so this is the one that I'm using, my digital. So this is for another time. Now, since we're tuning, what I need to do first, if you bear with me, is I need to reset all my EQs, because this is what we're gonna be tuning for. Gain is 0, gain is 0, reset EQ. Gain is 0, reset EQ. Gain 0, reset. Gain 5, so I need to, what is that? That's my mid bass, okay. 0, my mid basses are kind of very inefficient, so that's why I have to boost it up a little bit. And gain is 0, and I think that's enough. I'm not gonna go over the rear speakers or the subwoofer because it's all the same, so I'm just gonna repeat 6 times, you know, 2 times with the tweeter, first time slowly, and then the rest I'm just gonna do it quickly for the scans. So let's get started now. Off camera, what I'm doing is I'm picking up my phone and I'm going to load that. Let me find that file. The pink noise is here. Okay, I got it, and it's already playing. Let me plug in my phone. Phone is plugged in, and the speakers are already playing. So that's my pink noise. So for now, I'm gonna pause it, and we're gonna start with the front left tweeter, right? So let's open REW, and like I said, I already have my microphone connected. We're gonna use the moving microphone method. Please look it up so you know how to do it. It's actually very simple. Rawcat, he has a video on how to do the moving microphone method, and he explains how to do it and why we're doing it. Okay, here's this selected. Yeah, I got the mini D. Yes, this is my microphone. Yes, I want to use it. So that's it. Now, For this example, I warn you, there's a lot of background noise. That's because I have the AC going in my car, and I'm in Florida, and it's just cooking outside. So I need to have the AC on, and the engine's off. But in your case, if you're gonna do a real tune, please, turn your AC off, turn your engine off, and you'll see how the background noise just goes down. All right, so first of all, let me mute all the speakers except the left tweeter. With the Helix processors, if you didn't know, you can click on the number pad above the keyboard and go like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and it'll mute all the channels except the first channel. I didn't click on one because that's the one that I want to scan. So with that channel I muted, I know that that's the only one that will be scanned, and I start playing the pink noise. So it's playing, and I need to raise the volume. Why is the pink noise not playing? Check my phone. Sometimes I need to unplug and plug back in my my phone, and there it is. So okay, so before I do it, because I'm not gonna be able to talk with the pink noise playing, before I do it, what you do is you start collecting data. It takes a little bit. My computer is super slow, and that's my pink noise and my voice that is catching. So before I record, what I do is reset averaging, and this is the point where I shut up and I just scan. And then once I'm done scanning, I'm gonna do it quickly, but it's probably better for you if you do it over 20 or 30 seconds. And there's a way that you can set it up to do for like a number of scans, so you can do like 100 averages. This is constantly averaging, so with 20 or 30 seconds is fine. And once the red line stops moving, that's you're pretty much done. So let's get started, and let me put the volume up again. Reset the average. And that's it, right? So when you click on current, I captured it. And if I go to the other window here, I have my first tweeter. I told you there was going to be a lot of noise. This is my AC, so don't worry about it. If your scan stays above the noise, you're fine. So we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to get the rest of the speakers scanned right now. So I'm going to turn on the pink noise, so watch your ears. So we have the tweeters, we move on to the next. I'm going to play the pink noise again. Okay, so let me pause a little bit here. The level for the mid bass is low. That's why I had it increased to 5 additional dBs on the mid bass. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the front left low, and this is why I had 5 extra here and 5 extra here. Or you can do the other ones. You can drop the other ones by 5, but this is fine. I'm just gonna leave mine like this. And so let's continue. Okay, and at this point we're done with all the scans. I can pause the pink noise, and we'll go to the EQing. Okay, so we leave this open because we're gonna need it. We just leave it on front high. Let's go back to REW. Let's just label our, so this is left tweeter, right tweeter, left mid, right mid, left woofer, right woofer. All right, to EQ. So this is the part that you came to see. To EQ, let's again start with the left tweeter, and this time we're gonna go to the EQ icon. Okay, so we click on EQ. Let me put my microphone away. We don't need it anymore. So I'm putting it away. EQ. Right, so I'm gonna repeat this all 6 times because this is the part where people get confused. First, we need to tell what kind of EQ are we using. So we're using the Audio-Tech Fisher 30 band. So they don't have a specific model for Helix, but the Audio-Tech Fisher 30 is what we need to choose for Helix processors. For the target type, we want to use a speaker driver, and my tweeter goes from 3500 to 2480. Right, so let's do that. So it's 3500. What was 3500 or 2500? 3500, yeah. 3500 to, I don't think this one lets me go to 2480. I don't think it does. It does. Okay. And for the crossover type, we're going to use LR4, which I think is the equivalent of Linkwid's Riley 24 dB slope, and the other one too, 24 dB slope. No, actually this one is open, no slope. This is the tweeter. None, we don't care. So for the target level, there's one detail that I forgot. So let's go back. This is something that we need to do, and I forgot. So we need to set the smoothing on the graph. It's easier to work with if you smooth it out. So just go to graph, set it to 1/6. You don't want to set it too smooth because you want to catch all the peaks and valleys, so you can smooth it out with the EQ. If you smooth out the graph too much, then you're going to be missing a lot of things with your EQ. Here and here. All right, so now we can go back and it's going to look a little bit different. EQ, yep, it looks a little bit different. Did it remember? Yeah, it remembers what we did, because usually it forgets. REW is very forgetful. Here, I think you have to do this only once. This is where you pick the curve that you exported from the Excel spreadsheet. So that's this blue line, and we're bending and tailoring the curve to what we need. So it's not that line that goes all the way up here. We're doing this with the crossover settings. And another thing that I wanted to mention while I do this, there is this guy, I already mentioned him, Rocket. He has a very, very nice video for you to watch on how to set your crossover points. And it's actually a good video to watch because he talks about not only how to do it, but why you need to do it. And it's very interesting. So go watch that one to set your crossover point. So here, let's set it to, I'm gonna guess 55. Let's see. So that's a little bit too low. Let's do 60. We're trying to match our curve to our scan. So that's close. We can probably increase it a little bit more. 62. Because the tweeter is gonna roll off at the end anyway. So I think let's do 60. And we're gonna do 60 for all of them. So just remember that. We don't need to touch any of this. We don't need to add the room curve. I don't have it. I don't know what it is, to be honest. And from here, we're going to match a range. So we're doing 3,500. So, but this curve is dropping down to like 700. So let's start at 700, even though we're starting our crossover point at 3,500. And then this one, we go to 2480, I think it is, all the way to the end. 2480, no, it doesn't like it. So let's just do 20,000. 20,000, right? So now this window's open. The individual boost is how much boost you are going to allow REW to boost per specific band, equalizer band, right? The overall boost is the same thing, but max boost for the overall resulting curve. And the flatness target is how close do you want your EQ to match your target curve. So the flatter you want it, like 1, you're gonna have a lot of EQ bands trying to bend your scan curve to fit your target curve, right? So 1 is what I like. Why are we doing this if we're not gonna get it as close as possible? And that's it. That's all I do. Now for the magic, you click match response to target and watch the magic happen. Here's complaining that there's too much gap between the two curves. I don't care, do it. And it's doing its magic. There it is. So now we have all the EQ filters here. All the EQ filters that REW generated. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on EQ filters. And you can see them here. All of them. Right? This time I got quite a bit. But that's okay. It's good. So now, how do we transfer this to our processor? This is the beauty. This is why I got a Helix processor, because you can do this. You can go copy, paste. Over are the days where you had to input this data 1 EQ band at a time. That was painful and prone to errors. Now we don't have to worry about this. Right? So we have this done. And we move on to the next EQ, REW. So we don't need this. We go to the next one, REW, next one. This is the right tweeter, EQ. It remembers some of these things, but you have to go through everything and set it again. Subwoofer, no, we want speaker driver. This one we said we're going to do our crossover points at 3,500 to, let's do 20,000 just to make it simple. 20,000. LR4. and this one is the tweeter, so we're going to leave it open. And we said we were going to do 60, so let's try. We're going to keep all the same. You can match your curve, but then you have to set your levels. This one, this is the lazy way, because the EQ kind of sets your levels already. But for a more in-depth tuning, you're probably going to have to, after you finish EQing, you're probably going to have to scan again to do the level matching, right? We're not going to do that today. If you want me to show that again, just post it in the comments and I'll do that. So we're here, 60, which is getting pretty close. This doesn't change. We're not going to change it. When we do the mids next, then we're going to have to change it. So match response to target. Again, too far apart. I don't care. And your computer is probably going to do this a lot quicker. My computer is an old tablet, so it's very slow. And so just make sure that you're in the channel that you want to apply your changes to, because if you're on the subwoofer, you're going to apply these tweeter settings to your subwoofer. So be careful. So we've got to be here on the right tweeter, copy, paste, done. Next. So I think, I don't know if I have to close this one. I always close them. So we're going to do the mids. We're going to start with the left mid, EQ, again from the top. Audio Tech Fisher, 30 bands, speaker driver. Now my mids are set up from 300 to 3500 to match the tweeters. So we're going to do that. So it's 300 to 3500. We're going to LR4. What happened with LR4? LR4 here. LR4. Okay. Same target curve. This one we said we were going to do 60, right? 60 or 65. I can't remember now what we're doing. Let's check. I don't remember if it was 60 or 65. No, don't do that. Reset. So I want to see if they both open at the same time. We're doing 60. Okay, close that. Back to the mid. Q, 60. Okay, so we're doing 60. Everything is remembered. And so here, the match range for the EQ. This is not your crossover. What I like to do is, like, this one is going, my actual curve is going like from 100 hertz all the way to 10, say, for example, right? So we're going to match this range from 100 to 10. And that's what we're going to EQ for. This doesn't change. This stays the same. Okay, I don't care. And is this a thing of beauty or what? It's taking forever. Do I have something open that I don't need? No, it's all closed. All right. So it's using a lot of EQ bands because there's a lot of distance. So another thing that you can do is, so you don't use too much EQ, what you can do is do like a pre-scan, and you can overlay your curve on your scans here. I'm going to show you. So let's do the EQ filters. So this is we're doing this mid. Actually, we did the mid already. That mid we did. No, we didn't. Okay, so we're gonna do that. EQ filters, we go back to our mid, copy, paste, done. That so there's a huge gap here between these two. What you can do is there's two things that I should be doing here that I could show later. Is like, for example, my curve is not really matching my result very much. We can make this a lot better by moving the crossover to match the target curve closer, or move the target curve to match your crossover closer, right? So what I mean is do something like this. See how the target curve is moving closer to the actual scan here. So you could do something, but then you have to match it on the other side. So it's a little bit more complicated. It is doable, but this is just a quick tune. So we put it back to all 300, and we put it back, and this is just this is like a daily tune, right? We're not doing any competitions or anything. So we go to, this is the one that we're gonna do next. It's this one. Let's do this one quickly as my computer will allow. Some of the settings are remembered wrong, so we're gonna do this one, 30 band, speaker driver, we're gonna do 300 to 3500, LR4, and we're gonna do 60, right? So 60, and as you can see, there's room for improvement here. So the crossover could be set a little bit higher, maybe 350, 400 hertz to match the curve, or we can move the curve to match the crossover point, or we can do this one as well, right? The good thing about the Helix RTA software is that it will let you do that with sort of automatically. You can tell it to do it without changing settings on your initial setup. So, and then this range is the same range as before that we're gonna match. So match target. Okay. Computer is super slow today. All right, so EQ filters here, copy, paste. Great. Next. So we're gonna do the mid, the woofer, EQ, same thing. We're going to do audio tech Fisher 30, speaker driver 300 to, no, this is the woofer. So the woofer is 60. To 300, and we need to do link with rally 24. Okay, so that's a better match, and 60. So this curve is not so bad, and this is part of my noise, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. And the curve 60, and the range, so we want to match kind of like from 20 to 1K. That's fine. Enter. This don't change. Match response to target. We're too far off. Yep, I know. All right. EQ filters. And this is our left woofer. What is this one? Front left low. Copy, paste. That's it. And let's do the last one and then move on to the next part, the next step. Last one. Q. Going to do this one. Speaker driver 60. LR4 300. LR4 level is 60. We're gonna match the same thing from 20 to 1K. And here goes the last one. Complain. No, it didn't complain. That's so weird. All right, let's look at our filters. That's it. We go back here. We go to the right. And copy. Paste. All right. So we're done with the EQ. Right. The next thing that you would do, which now you know how to do, is level matching. So I want to show you a little bit how to do level matching. What I need to do is I need to import the tuning curve. Where did I put it? Downloads. No. Tunings. Okay. No, this is not the tuning. Reference curves. That's what I need. Reference curves. So I need to find the JBL YLH overall. So this is the curve. So let me see if this works. I think we can do this. Oh, did he put it already? What is that? No. So he didn't add it. How do I add this thing? What is this curve? File. Import. Frequency response. YLH overall. REW. Open. Okay, so it's right here. Right, so if we go to all SPL, we're gonna see all the curves, and this one is like way down here. So what you need to do is you need to do show actions and set the level to say 60, for example. Perfect. So that's good, right? So now what you need to do is level matching, and with this curve, you know that your tweeters are okay. Let's do this. I think we can deselect all, clear selections. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our curve, left tweeter, right tweeter, right? Actually, what we need to do at this point is, since we did the EQ, we need to scan them again, because now the response is going to be different, right? So let's do the tweeters, and I can show you what we need to do to level match, and then we're going to level match the tweeters, and then you can level match the rest. So I'm going to play the pink noise, and we're gonna scan just the tweeters. That's the right level. I put my microphone away. Let me get it. Okay. So let's start. Current. We switch Twitter. Reset. So we captured the tweeters with the EQ applied to them, right? So let's do this, and you will need to do this with all the drivers. So let's set the smoothing to 1.6 and smoothing to 1.6. Okay, so we got the two tweeters. We're gonna clear all. What is that? Clear selections. So we're gonna do the target curve. One tweeter. Next tweeter. So this is what I was saying earlier, that once you do the EQ is also kind of setting the levels. So you don't really for an everyday tune, you don't really have to do this, but this is a good way for you to check. And say, for example, that these tweeters are a little bit off. So like this one, for the purple one is a little bit too high. Okay, so just an example. To me, they look fine, but just an example. Show actions, and then we have the level here. So what you do is you decrease the level there. So you want it there. So it's minus 1.3 dBs. So what you would do is, and this is my right tweeter. So what I would do is I will come here to the processor and set this to minus 1.3. I don't think it's gonna let me 1.3. Minus 2, wait. I think it's 1.25, so it's minus 1.25 or 1.2. So that's what it lets me do, right? So you can do that to level match, and you can do this with all the drivers. Once you have everything level matched, we need to do, at this point, we need to do the time alignment. So at this point in the tuning, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to load my previous tune that has all the level matching, all the EQ, everything, and we're going to reset the time alignment. So you can save these things, import all, so it's going to reset everything, and it's going to put it back to my previous tune. There it is, right? So now we're going to do the time alignment, and this is kind of a crapshoot, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The last time I did it, it worked, so I'm happy about that. But let's try this again. So I'm going to reset all my time alignments. This one, I'm going to reset all of it. And this is where we're going to play the other file for time alignment that I showed earlier in the video. So let me find that file and play it. I have it here somewhere. Just bear with me 1 second. Put a search for time measurement like here. This is the file. It's loading, just give it a sec. Okay, so I'm gonna start playing it. Let me see my volume, lower it a little bit. And play the file. There it is. So those clicks that you're hearing, that's the actual file. Now, before you do this, this works very well for tweeters and mids. Sometimes the woofers don't work very well, and the subs are a pain. So what you need to do so the clicks are picked up better, you need to go to your outputs, and on your mids, not the mids, your woofers, increase the high pass. Woofer, increase your high pass. And this one is already there, this one is already there, and you need to do your subwoofer as well. Subwoofer goes, I think, all the way to 300, so increase it to 300. Subwoofer, increase it to 300 so the clicks can get picked up by the microphone. And so now what you need to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank it, so if you're wearing headphones it's going to get loud. And I'm going to show you, before I do that, let me just go back to the time and automatic time measurement, and let me increase the volume, and we're going to click start. And look at that. That is a thing of beauty. So it worked, right? So now don't forget to put your crossover points back, because I've saved, I mean, once I listen to this and the time alignment is fine, I've saved the file as is, gone home for the night, go to sleep, then in the morning go back to work and the stereo sounds like crap because I forgot to reset my crossover points, right? So here you can play something and you can switch before, after. You see how the sliders are moving and the times are changing, excuse me. So before, after, and there's one last thing that you need to do to make sure that this is correct. I'm gonna close out of here. You have to go to your outputs, and on the woofer you have to reset this to 300. I'm not gonna reset everything, I'm just gonna reload my preset. But you can save it as a preset before you do all this. No, but you're gonna have to do the time alignment. So just reload your preset, reload everything, so it brings it back to the way it was. And this should include my time alignment, so I didn't screw up anything. So my time alignment is there, we're good. The last thing that you need to do is that I do is, let me make sure. So make sure that you're on the time tab, and from here you can mute individual speakers. So what I would do is, in my case, is I mute everything and just leave the tweeters playing. So mute everything and leave only the tweeters playing. So the two tweeters are playing. So the tweeters are easy. because it's easy to tell where the image is. So what I find myself doing all the time is when the Helix sets up the time alignment, my image is pulled a little bit to the it's pulled a little bit to the right, right? So I have to little by little, like this, little by little, increase the delay on the left so it pulls the image left. You're gonna hear it, you're gonna feel it, it's gonna move, right? So once you have it in the center, which to me the center is the center of the windshield, no, not in front of me, it's the center of the windshield. And once you have it in the center, you leave it, mute it, and go back to the next, right? So the mids are pretty easy to find as well, the center, but then when it comes to the woofers, those are super hard to find the center. So what I do is I did the same trick that we did for the time alignment. I shouldn't have reset my settings yet. I should have left the woofers all the way up, playing all the way up to 20 kilohertz, and you can use that to center the image. After you have centered the image, then you move everything back the way it was, and you're essentially done with your daily driver tuning. There is more things that we can do, but I think this video is long enough for now, and if you guys have questions, feel free to ask, and for now is goodbye. Take care and enjoy tuning.